Swimming can be very dangerous if you aren't very well trained before venturing out into the open waters. Even supervised swimming expeditions can very easily end in tragedy if you aren't well prepared. Though there are many dangerous bodies of water across the globe that could pose health risks for even the most highly skilled professionals. Today, we will be showcasing 10 of the most dangerous waters in the world. But before we get started, be sure to click the like button and ring the notification bell, or you'll be greeted by a horrifying ghost tonight while you sleep.
Hi?
Don't say you haven't been warned. Number 10. If you are ever approaching a body of water and it appears to have a deep red hue, almost as if it's filled with blood, it's probably best to turn around and go back home. You've seen enough for the day. We've all heard the various biblical stories of water that was turned to wine or rivers that turned to blood. Though Rio Tinto isn't exactly what it seems. This river has a vibrant red color to it, though this is due to the water having a pH level between 1.7 and 2.5. The waters are incredibly rich in metals such as copper, silver, and even gold. If you think this may make the waters incredibly valuable, you wouldn't be entirely wrong. Many ancient settlers set up shop in this area in hopes of harvesting precious metals from the water. Though these days, that is incredibly unlikely. The waters have been heavily polluted over the last 5,000 years, which has resulted in the water being extremely toxic. The river is said to be home to terribly dangerous organisms that can oxidize both iron and sulfur. The Rio Tinto is located in the Sierra Morena Mountains in Andalusia, and is not a body of water you'd want to take a dunk in. Number 9. There are hot water springs that can be found all around the world. Some of the most popular springs can be found in the United States, particularly in the city of Hot Springs located in Arkansas. Hot Springs has been home to, hot springs for hundreds of years. Hot water springs are found throughout the downtown area, and many flock to the city each year in hopes of bathing in the city's endless supply of supposedly healing hot waters. Though there exists another hot spring that can be found in Morne Trois Pitons National Park in Dominica. This hot spring is called the Boiling Lake and is estimated to be the second largest hot spring in the world. The temperatures along the edge of this spring can rise to around 197 degrees Fahrenheit or 92 degrees Celsius. What is extremely troubling is that the waters in the middle of the lake are boiling, so we can't be sure exactly how hot they truly are. Swimming in this lake would almost definitely be a death sentence. Full body burns would occur within seconds, and there is a high chance you could be boiled alive. So if you're ever visiting Dominica, stay clear of the boiling lake. Number 8. Lake Kivu is a very interesting lake. It is located between Rwanda and the Democratic Republic of Congo, making it a shared resource between the two. It is located in the middle of a rift valley that is slowly being pulled apart. This area has been the source of volcanic activity for many years, and as the area continues to be stretched by the earth that is shifting beneath it, its depth grows larger and its coverage spans wider. At the last measurement, this lake is estimated to be at least 485 feet deep. That's a ridiculous depth for a lake, considering that most lakes that can be found in public areas in America are only around 30 feet deep in most publicly accessible areas. Though it's not the depth of this lake that makes it so dangerous. In fact, at the moment, the lake isn't dangerous at all. This lake made the list because it has the potential to be deadly at any given moment. There are estimated to be about 250 cubic kilometers of deadly gases trapped beneath the surface of the water. These gases include carbon dioxide and methane. What's good about this is that the water has a density that is twice as high as the gases, meaning that virtually no gas can make its way to the surface. However, if a volcanic eruption takes place, which is almost guaranteed to happen at some point, the gases will escape into the atmosphere and potentially prove fatal for anyone who is nearby. For the time being, most people consider this lake to be safe to swim in, even though we would strongly advise against it. Number 7. The Citarum River is known by all of the locals that surround it as being disgusting, though this hasn't been caused naturally over a great time. Instead, within the last few decades, there have been hundreds of tons of trash and chemicals dumped into the water, making it extremely toxic. The vast majority of this waste is not biodegradable, so it builds up in the water and virtually never decays. It is believed to be the world's most polluted river, which is saying a lot considering the number of nasty rivers that surround us every day. At least 200 factories line this river, meaning that all of their runoff and pollution find their way into the water and make it worse with each passing day. Harmful dyes and chemicals like arsenic and mercury are just a few of the pollutants that have found their way into the river. There are millions of people who live in the area who make sure to do their part in dirtying up the river by throwing in piles of trash and debris. No one should ever get within 10 feet of this water, otherwise the stench may take your breath away. Under no circumstances should you swim in this water either, just in case that needed to be said. Number 6. I think we can all agree that radiation is bad, at least in high amounts. But it seems as though the locals of Lake Karakay failed to receive that message. This lake is located near the Ural Mountains in eastern Russia. This lake has been described as one of the most polluted spots in the world. Though different from the other lakes on this list, it isn't necessarily due to trash pollution or human waste. Rather, it is because this lake borders a massive nuclear reactor that causes the waters and surrounding areas to be tainted with radiation. This, combined with the fact that the lake was further polluted after the Chernobyl disaster, means that this lake is especially toxic to anyone nearby. This lake has also been the likely culprit behind the rising cancer rates among locals in the area. Though we can't seem to understand why anyone would choose to live near this lake if they had any other option. Number 5. Lake Michigan is located in North America and is one of only 5 major lakes in the country between the United States and Canada. This lake has received a rather dark reputation after it was the source of a terrible plane crash that took place back in 1950. Though more recently, the lake has proven to be a burial ground for dozens of people each year. This is because of the unexpected currents that can pop up in the lake at any moment. These currents show up without any warning and can claim the lives of anyone swimming in the area without any notice. Number 4. Jacob's Well is a body of water that can be found in Texas. This area isn't particularly dangerous to swimmers, but poses major hazards for divers. The well is located directly above a very intricate system of tunnels and passageways. Even though the beautiful water may be tempting to dive in, several people have become lost in the tunnels over the years and lost their lives as a result. The tunnels are far too expansive and twisty to be considered safe for diving, and the area should be reserved for only the most experienced divers in the world. Number 3. Horseshoe Lake can be found in Arkansas and is one of the state's many natural beauties. Arkansas has been dubbed the natural state, and it is easy to see why. The state is covered in beautiful scenery, mountain ranges, and lakes. Though Horseshoe Lake isn't all that it appears to be. On the surface, it seems to be a quiet, tranquil lake that you'd want to camp nearby. Though the lake is home to loads of deadly CO2 that can work their way to the surface. At least 2 people have lost their lives to the harmful CO2 levels, making it one of the most dangerous lakes in the state. Number 2. Lake Natron can be found in Tanzania, and this is certainly one of the most extreme lakes on this list. The lake water is ridiculously salty and can cause skin irritation and burns if you aren't careful. Because of this, a layer of salt and crust can often form on the top of the water, making this lake appear to be a barren wasteland. The crusty layer emits a menacing red glow that can easily deceive many viewers into believing it is a dry piece of land. The temperatures regularly reach above 120 degrees Fahrenheit, meaning that virtually no plant life or marine life can live in nearby areas without major health consequences. Number 1. The Drake Passage is easily the most dangerous body of water on our list. The waters in this area appear to be somewhat still and clear, though, as with most bodies of water, the real danger lies beneath the surface. Countless icebergs can wreak havoc on ships that are passing by. Considering this is a common area for ships to transport goods, this passage poses massive risks for anyone in the area. Currents are known to flare up without warning, and massive wind tunnels are known to pass through the area too. It seems as though we could have found a better way to travel by now, but here we are, soaring through dangerous waters with tens of thousands of pounds of cargo and countless innocent lives. This area has been dubbed the ship cemetery in recent years, and it is very easy to see why.